Hey guys, it's Mandy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It is unreal. So I'm going to talk about it some more today. I really want to talk about my predictions for what will happen in the new game in Rebirth. And maybe a little bit of what's coming in part 3, but mostly Rebirth, honestly. I recently did a recap of Final Fantasy VII Remake, so for anybody who wants just a quick recap on the story of what happened in Remake Part 1, I'll link that below. So Rebirth has a lot of ground to cover, I think, and I think I've gone back and forth being worried that they're going to change the story so drastically to thinking maybe they won't change it so much. And now I kind of fall somewhere in the middle. I do think the story is obviously changing. I think it's already changed. I think that was kind of the point of the ending of Remake. We're done with the old story. We're telling a new story this time. And we're still going to be with the characters we love, the world we love. And we're going to experience a lot of the events from the original Final Fantasy VII that everyone knows and loves. But things might happen a little bit differently. I am of the popular opinion that Final Fantasy VII Remake takes place after the original Final Fantasy VII. I don't think it's a retelling. I don't think it's a remake. And while I do think it's an alternate timeline, I think some of the characters are aware of the original events of Final Fantasy VII. I think it's Sephiroth putting everything into motion. I think Sephiroth is attempting the destruction of the planet again. I think he's getting a redo, basically. And he's trying to do things differently this time so that the outcome for him is different. Big spoiler warning here for what happens in OG Final Fantasy VII. And I'm big spoiler warning. Leave right now. Flags, red flags. Leave. An absolutely huge plot point in Final Fantasy VII was the death of Aerith. And this is something I keep going back and forth on. I don't know if they're going to change that, but I think my strongest prediction for this character is that she will die, but it won't happen exactly the same way. I think they'll want to keep us on the edge of our seat and to keep us guessing. I think we'll get maybe some like kind of allusions to it. We've seen already flashes to it, but I also think we'll get fake outs. I think they are trying to make us a little bit worried that Tifa may be dying in her place. And I think that will continue into the game where we see events where we're like, oh no, is Tifa about to die? Or, oh no, is Aerith about to die? I think they're going to try to keep us on our toes, keep us guessing. But in the end, I really do think Aerith will probably not make it through to the end, because I think one of the biggest themes in Final Fantasy VII is loss and grief and learning to live through loss and to overcome that. So I think it will still be there. I think it's too important of a theme to take that away. I think it's a popular theory that Tifa may die in Aerith's place. I've been very afraid of this possibility too. Not only because I'm a huge fan of Tifa, but just because, I mean, it's so devastating seeing Aerith die, but I've come to terms with that. I've known it for a long time. I actually knew Aerith was going to die before I ever played Final Fantasy VII. So it's something that I felt very prepared for. And over time, I feel like the community, the fandom, we've all grieved Aerith. So while it will be devastating to see it in the game, we expect it. Seeing Tifa die would be totally shocking. And I do think they want to do some things differently. So I do think they want to present us with shock value. But I don't think that will be the way they do it. I think they'll tease us with it, but I don't think they'll actually do that. So I'm very nervous about it. I don't think it's totally impossible, but I don't think that's what they'll do. So the other big thing is that it does seem like we have two different timelines playing out in Rebirth. we have a timeline where Zach is alive, and I'm unsure of what I think of that timeline. I saw a theory that in Zach's timeline, he actually is dead, and he's just in the live stream, and everyone in his timeline is also dead. So I'm not fully bought into that theory. However, I do think that would be really, really cool and a really fun twist and a great way to keep things closer to the original. However, I don't actually think that's what's happening. I do think he's in an alternate timeline where he's alive, though. And possibly, I think our two timelines, the one that we end in Remake and then the one where Zach is alive, I think they will at some point converge and everyone will meet. And then in the end, I think maybe not even in Rebirth, but by the end of the third game, I think Zach and Aerith will have to go back to the live stream, will have to die in order to bring equilibrium back to the universe, to the planet. Okay, so those are my big plot expectations. Okay, not expectations, because I really think this could go in any possible way that they want it to. Like, they have such freedom now. Dealing with different timelines, alternate universes, they can really do whatever they want. And they can even say, that's just in this timeline. Here's this timeline. So which one's real? So we'll see how that goes. I do think for it to be poignant, for it to make a point, they do have to converge. We do have to get the timelines back together. But we'll see. That's just my opinion. Okay, another thing I have some thoughts on is romance. I love romance in a video game. I love to watch characters fall in love. I love to play it out. I love to be able to make choices to make my character do the right thing, say the right thing, sometimes do the wrong thing when it comes to romance. And I just find it so fun and satisfying to play through. It was part of the original Final Fantasy VII. We know it's going to be part of this game. I can't wait to see it. It seems like they're doing some really cool stuff with your dialogue options and how it affects romance going forward. And things like maybe who's in your party at what time, for how long, things like that. My opinion is that it won't impact like big plot moments or plot events. I think it'll impact things like who you take on the gold saucer date. Maybe other things along the way, but I think it'll be mostly that date. And that's so that it doesn't have to change things throughout multiple cutscenes throughout the game. I think it'll be for specific moments. Now, it does seem that you will get Barrett, Tifa, and Aerith as options on this date. I think it's possible we're also getting Jessie as an option. It's unclear to me if she is dead or alive. I thought at the end of Remake they were hinting that she's alive, but now I'm thinking she's only alive in the Zack universe, so not in the universe in which they have the gold saucer date. But we see her, I think, as like a projection at the gold saucer. So maybe she could be a projection date. Maybe she's actually there. I'm not sure what to think, but after they fleshed out her character so much and gave her this fun, flirty personality in Remake, I just keep thinking she's definitely got to be a romance option. They've set themselves up to make her a romance option, so I'm expecting to see it. I won't be disappointed if I don't see it, but I do love Jessie. Yuffie, I don't think it'll be a romantic date if we get a Yuffie date. It may not be even framed as a date. I feel like Yuffie could still be there as an option, but if she is, it'll be very like we're just hanging out. I don't think they'll cross that into date territory in Rebirth. I know that Biggs is alive in one of the universes, and it says he's the only one that survived, and he has survivor's guilt. So I don't know if that's in Zach's universe, which is what I originally thought, or if that's in our timeline. If it's our timeline, I have to assume Jessie is dead. But If they give me the option to go on a date with Biggs instead, I think that makes up for it. Really, above all, with romance and shipping, I just hope that the community can remain civil. The least attractive thing to me is shipping wars. I mean, it's mostly between Tifa and Aerith, and I understand that. I really just, I want to see everyone get along. Because the thing is, both girls are fantastic characters, so well defined, so well written. They get so much screen time. They're incredible, and I really hate to see them boiled down to which one gets to date the lead. I feel like they're a lot more important than that, and while it's so fun to discuss shipping and romance, they are more than that, and it's just not worth getting into such awful, ugly fights on the internet over. I love both characters. I don't think it's a secret that I am more of a Tifa and Cloud shipper, but I still love Aerith. In fact, I find myself to be, I find myself like more of an Aerith type myself, even though I prefer Tifa. And I've said it before, but like Tifa is what I would want in a best friend or like a big sister, someone I look up to, someone I would love to be like, whereas I see myself as more of an Aerith. So I love both of them. I love both of them. It's just I happen to see one of them as the romantic option that I would choose personally, but love them both. One last thing is all of the new playable characters in Rebirth. I cannot wait to see how they play. I did not like Yuffie much at all, my very first playthrough of Final Fantasy VII OG. But when I played Intermission, I fell in love with her. For one thing, her combat is incredible. She's so overpowered because you play as her. She has Sonon helping her out, but you play as her the entire time. And because of that, she is so strong. I can't wait to play as her some more in Rebirth. I'm so excited to finally get to play as Red 13, who joined your party, but you never got to control him in Remake. So excited to see how Vincent's style is and how Cid's style is. Kate Sith will be there. Yeah. I am excited to see it. I'm curious. I'm curious how Kate Sith's combat will be. Because in OG, I just never found myself wanting to use Kate Sith that much. I wonder how it'll differ here. Overall, I wonder how it'll differ. Because you can create your own party and put whoever you want in the party at any time. I know I love Tifa's combat. I know I love Yuffie's combat. I know I love Cloud's combat. Sometimes I like to use Barrett and Aerith, but the other three I really, really gravitate to. So I wonder, after having the full party together, what's my default party going to be? My favorite party option, what's it going to be? I'm really excited to figure that out. I feel like in original 7, my favorite party, or like the party I had the most, was actually Cloud, Barrett, Tifa. So I'm already differing from that, I think, but we'll see how I end up using the party in the future. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited. And the demo was so good. It really gives me so much hope in how these last 2 games in the series are going to play out. And I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. So thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Rebirth is upon us so soon, and I can't wait to play it. You'll see uploads from me starting soon after the release of Rebirth. They'll be going straight to YouTube. They will not be streamed live on Twitch this time. I'm just recording my playthrough with no chat, no talking to chat, no live chat. Just uploading my playthrough with my thoughts only straight to YouTube. Anyway, I can't wait. I'm just rambling at this point because I'm so excited. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon for Rebirth. Bye, everyone.